Hello, hello, happy Friday. Welcome to our Friday witchy live stream. I hope that you guys had a happy Thanksgiving for those of you who are celebrating. And I just have to say, wow, thank you guys so much for the super chats. We have $70 in super chats and we have not even started. So thank you so much to Catherine as per usual and the Bayou as per usual. You guys are always hitting me up on here. Thank you so much. So with that beautiful tone being set, and let's jump right into this. So we do this reading every year around this time. It's one of my favorite readings to do. Why are people thankful for you? This is like kind of let me gas you up, but just a peek into what people are appreciating about you at this current time. And and with this reading, this is interesting because we actually have two anchor cards for this one, which if you're new to the tarot, the anchor cards, these are not options for you to choose from, but they're just the like the base energy that's going into all of the piles. So we actually have two of them today. Look. Oh my gosh. Am I the queen? Hold on. I never know which way to move. Okay. Look at this. Oh, we look like we're playing that game where I have to guess what's on. Okay, so I know some people like to get a feel for the anchor cards because in my view, we read the tarot together because I'm just picking up on the general energies, and obviously everybody's situation is unique and it is specific. So those are the anchor cards, and we have three piles to choose from as per usual. And you probably already have gotten a good look at these cards, but just in case you haven't, let's go ahead and bow our heads and pray. I'm kidding. But I just like to put my hands over my heart, take a moment to just turn that gaze inward and let all of the energy drop and connect that place inside of you that is that deepest place that a lot of spiritualists call the observer, that's below time and space and your name and your ID number and anything like that. So just take that time. It's really nice to just experience some silence. So whenever you feel ready, you can open your eyes, open your hearts, open your minds, open your spirits, open your life. I'm kidding. Open whatever you want to, and the fridge if you want, and be drawn into one of our three piles. Pile number one is the Pilgrim. Pile number two is Gnosis, and pile number three is the Apocalypse. That's the order that goes in. So keep in mind that the way that you get drawn into the piles can sometimes be a clarifying message in and of itself, because tarot is a journey. It is a process-oriented experience. So take away whatever it is that you take away from being drawn into your pile in whatever way. And also it can help you understand the way that your intuition is moving today, or the way that it's moving through this time period in your life, or how it moves in general. So there's that. And I texted my hairstylist. Somebody's asking if I dyed my hair. And I do color it. And I texted my hairstylist and she was like, can you come in tomorrow? And so I just ended up going in. Thank you. Okay, so let us get into this, shall we? Pile number one, the Pilgrim. And let me just compassion. This is a prayer wheel. It just says Om Mani Padme Hum, which is also the script at the top of the chat. That's the energy we have here. It's a sacred chant. It is the path to enlightenment, and it's like soaking with compassion. So I just like to infuse our readings with this. But Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. All right. Pile number one. Why are people grateful for you? Okay, immediately I'm laughing. Like I'm just smiling. I feel like you make people smile. They really like you, is what I'm hearing. People genuinely like you. They enjoy your presence. They enjoy your personality. I feel like you might have a very infectious smile here as well too. Tasha, thank you so much for the super chat. But yeah, I feel like I can't help but like smile. I feel like people like your smile, or like if you have little dimples or something, or you really make people cheese, like really, really laugh super hard. They like your personality. You're very graceful. I feel like people look forward to seeing you just in their daily life. Even this is just people that you work with. I feel like you lighten up the energy and you lighten up the air. And I actually feel like people are pleasantly surprised whenever they get to know you, because the first energy that I'm seeing in my mind is the Page of Cups. And this is like a really sweet. I feel like you're good at small talk, but you definitely don't have to stay there. And that's what like surprises people, is because you can really, really back it up. And I'm actually getting that with the 2 anchor cards here. Is like you present really, really sweet, but then this is like this bad owl energy, like with the Queen. And I feel like that pleasantly surprises people. And because right behind the Page of Cups, I'm seeing the Queen of Swords, actually, and it's a really positive energy. So I feel like not much gets by you. So also, this is the energy where when you give people compliments, like they know that you really mean it, because you are very observant and you hone in on like the little details. And it's like the little things that people hope that you notice about them, you notice, and like you bring it up, and it's very sweet energy as well. And I feel like you're good at keeping the energy light kind of around you. But again, like whenever you deepen things, like you have very intelligent things to say or interesting things to say. Noor, thank you so much for the super chat. It did work. And all of this yellow that's coming through with the super chats, this is like solar plexus chakra. I feel like you have a lot of confidence and you radiate that sunshine energy into the room, but you also help people connect to their confidence. I feel like you are the kind of person that is a genuine friend. You're not like threatened by your friends, and you're not, secretly trying to tear them down or anything. Like you really do speak from the heart, and you also make people feel really safe and really comfortable. Some of you could be mothers, or there's something where, there's something here about children. Like, I don't know if you speak to people's inner children, or some of you, like, they like, when you watch their children, they like watching you interact with children, or like your own children. Because again, I'm seeing that dichotomy between like the Page of Cups energy and the Queen of Swords energy, which is very, very different energies. But I feel like it's this very unique, interesting blend. You're an interesting person. You are an interesting person. My cats are both, popping off here as well. So that's the Sun and the Moon energy. You're very well integrated between your inner space and your outer space, like the emotions and that like sunshine energy here too. But yeah, going back to this, like the dichotomy, that's what I'm hearing, the dichotomy. So you could have 2 very different sides to you, but they do actually blend together perfectly. And maybe people never know which side they're going to get, but they're always pleasantly surprised. And I feel like this Queen of Swords energy that you have, it makes people's inner children feel safe, because actually this fell out like whenever I was bringing my cards over here, but it was like this. So like, I feel like you're very protective in your air energy. This is the Queen of Swords energy that I was picking up on. And always it looks to me like there's a gargoyle behind her, which is just an emblem of protection, like a guardian at the gate, which is why you make people's inner children feel very safe and loved and warm. And they're like, people are able to let their guard down around you. And I feel it's because you have an eye out for like this enemy energy, or you very naturally pick up on it. And they're actually giving me this sense, like, I know that I can experience this around people that are like bigger than me somehow, like maybe more established in their career, they're older or something, like they have that presence. Grandma is gaming. I love your name. Thank you so much for the super chat. Where like people just kind of calm down around them because they have like the authority in the room or something. And so people are all kind of on their best behavior. You have that as well, whether you know it or not, because people know that you're really observant, or that you're very smart, or you're very intelligent. So I feel like people are not trifling around you. Like they don't, and I just heard hypocrisy. So like you really catch out on hypocrisy, or not much gets by you. And I also think this has to do with children as well. So like, yeah, there's something here where you can catch on when a child is trying to like manipulate you or something, or when someone's inner child is trying to manipulate you. And I feel like you call it out, but if this doesn't have to do with children, it has to do with people's inner children, or like, I don't know, or people think that you'd be like a really good mom, or like that you work with children, or that you would be good at doing that. But you very clearly spot like the enemy in the room. Like I'm saying, nothing gets by you, and people just feel really safe around you. And you see things from a higher perspective, but again, you make it very accessible with that Page of Cups energy. It's not like you are strong in a way that makes people feel safe. And people like to show you things as well, the things that they do, the things that they've made. And you're a really good guide. Like if you ever have to train people or anything, people want you to train them. I feel like a lot of people actually have memories of you training them on things or walking them through with things, because and there's you're very articulate. But it shows your intelligence. I remember hearing that if you're ever going to give like a speech, like a 45-minute presentation on something, the amount of knowledge that you have to have in order to condense that down is so much greater than just what you are touching on. And people get that impression with you, and they're pleasantly surprised by it. Now there's another group that's coming in here, okay? And if this is on point with what I've been talking with you about, I feel like this kind of person is who is around you. And they might feel actually a little exposed or a little called out around you, but you also might have people that try to mimic your energy quite a bit, but it just doesn't, it falls flat. And so people notice the difference with you, like if you're this person that I've been describing, but I do have to like break off here for a second because there's another group here. Okay. And I feel like this other group I'm seeing, okay, yeah, you're around this kind of person. And I feel like you take a lot of inspiration from this kind of person, but to be honest with some of you, it might border on taking much more than inspiration from this person. Like you might really pattern yourself after this person. And if that's the case, I feel like you might tune in here because you're hoping to hear that you're seen in the same light as this other individual. But I just have to say, like with love, you're not seen in that way. And you're not seen in that way, and you're not supposed to be seen in that way. And I feel like this person is a part of like your initiation into seeing what it is that you could be. And I feel like you've had a vision around this person, like something here to do with this person, or this person is the vision of like a potential for you in the future. And this is like their gift, but you really have to be giving this person their props. And I'm hearing this is about student mode with the Page of Cups, like learning from this person. It's about student mode. They want you, your guides want you to go quiet. They want you to sit in the back. This isn't for you to, again, I'm seeing this person give that 45-minute presentation and you're like kind of taking notes and you're like, I know all the same things that they do. And you end up being very disrespectful to this person's energy because you're really not giving them enough credit at all. And you don't understand how much, like a cow has to chew the cud in order to like swallow it, and then it goes through multiple stomachs. It takes a lot to break down like whatever this information is, and they make it look really easy, whoever this person is, but it's actually a sign of their intelligence. And so you just taking that and acting like you did that, it's not seen well, and you're not building good karmas with whoever this is. So you have to, I'm hearing like you feel like you're almost on the verge of like making contact with this person or like being seen as this person, but you have to turn around and you've got to go back to square one because this person is good at the basics. This person has a very solid foundation. They're showing me like an iceberg. And so what you see is the result of like a lot of percolating and things like that. That's why they're so refined, or that's why they're so finessed. And so if you're a part of this little group here, and again, if you're part of this overall group that I'm picking up on, I feel like this is the energy that's around you, and you might feel disrespected, or you might feel like people try to mimic or like take your energy in some way that doesn't make you feel good. But I feel like you're initiating certain people, and on a soul level, I feel like they do appreciate it. But yeah, if you're a part of this other energy, I feel like it's about building up. They're trying to start. This is about student mode for you. And I've said this on my channel before, like, yeah. Okay, yeah, it's about student mode. It's because when you know how you operate as a student, that is the engine. You're building the engine to where you can grow and grow and grow and grow and grow. So, okay, going back to like this overall energy that I feel like for a lot of you are. People don't always know what they appreciate in you because they sense that something's different with you. But I think that's what they appreciate is the student mode, the fact that you are very good at breaking down knowledge and integrating it into yourself. And so when you regurgitate it, I think sometimes people can take your energy as very lightweight with the Page of Cups because you're able to, I think it was an Albert Einstein quote where he says like true mastery is being able to explain something to a 5-year-old. So I think you have that where you're able, like whatever this is, and I feel like it's in a certain area or like it's in a certain arena, and it might be like with children, like teaching them about life and onboarding them into life. So take that however it resonates. But I think people misunderstand your energy and they can think that it's very, very lightweight when really there's so much intellect that goes into setting up your program out, like the structures, the outlines of what it is that you're trying to teach. Like you've really been at this for a while. It is absolutely inappropriate for somebody to come through and like just take that and act like, oh, this is just one piece of information or this piece of information. No, this is like a body of work, something that you have like been really working on. And so like with this other energy too, okay, just jumping back over to this other energy that's around. I think it's the opposite experience actually of this other person where, because you regurgitate whatever this person says. And so people are like, oh, wow, that's really interesting. But then maybe they feel let down because they feel like maybe they've been manipulated or finessed or something, like when the bottom kind of falls out. I just had to say that about that other group here. But again, you're meant to learn from this person and you're meant to see something. And I feel like you had a vision around this person, either something to do with this person or you're supposed to see like what's possible for you, but you have to make it your own. Like, don't just take from this person, like make it your own. So you inspire people, like jumping back over here, you inspire people. And I'm seeing the number 3 because I feel like sometimes people can see you as like 3 different people. But it's very well integrated. So this isn't like multiple personalities or anything like that. It's, you have 3 very different sides to you. And I feel like you bring forth whichever one is absolutely appropriate, to the person that you are dealing with. And I feel like, people might have stories of you like they don't get away with much, you know, because, and these like 3 different people, I think people learn if they're trying to take your energy, or if they're being manipulative, or they're trying to take a shortcut around you, that the way you frame it, like you're able to, that's when they get clicked into a different version of you or a different side to you. But again, it shows that you have this air quality, this air energy that's around you that is picking up on things. And it's like, I think you prefer the Page of Cups energy around you. We can be sweet. You feel like if everybody is well-intentioned and if everybody is intelligent, I feel like you think it naturally gets to a Page of Cups energy just around you. And if people aren't able to keep up, then I think you're the guardian at the gate. And people may have that experience of you too, but it makes people trust you really, really well. I also think that you're able to speak to the heart here. The pilgrim energy, it's the traveler of the heart. And then I always notice like the tie-dye energy in this card. It's very like hippie, it's very bohemian, it's very traveling around. So this is an interesting blend because we have Queen of Swords energy, which to me, it's like you could think of it with academia. So maybe some of you are good bridge from like you read intellectual articles or papers. You know what the methods section of a study is. You know why you need to look there, you know? You don't just rush to the conclusion. You're looking for replicability. You know how to read like the scientific study or in that academic world, and how to bring that over to like real life practice. You're a bridge. That's what it is. You are. And the way that you can transform that into connecting people to why it's important to their heart or to their life or something here like that. And I'm seeing that like some people here have felt heartbroken by you, but they didn't act right. Like they didn't treat you right, and they know that they deserved what they got. And it was actually quite an educational experience for these people. And that is the highest experience that they were able to have with you because they just didn't know how to act right. But also I feel like there's people around you that have had their hearts wounded, and you've been able to, like, some of you could be like therapists, or you're just that friend, you know, that you listen very well with the Page of Cups, like you're very light touch, but the things that you say, I kind of feel like it can be few and far between. Like you're very good at listening, like, and it can be few and far between, but the things you say are potent, and it just packs a certain punch, and it hits right on the target because you're listening so deeply. You really have like some kind of huge engine inside of you that a lot of people, especially if they haven't connected to their own depths, they can't really connect with or relate to. They only really see the surface of you, and then they wonder why they can't replicate your energy. You've got a lot of people around you trying to replicate your energy, people that are stuck in delusion, and some people that are stuck in fantasy because they see you as a fantasy, but there's like no light shed, no inner light shed, because this is you. You're actually very well developed. You're very conscious in your energy. This doesn't come from not looking at the hard stuff. It comes from looking at the hard stuff. Whether that's hard stuff is data and facts and inconvenient truths that you might not want to be true, but integrating that into your worldview, or things about yourself like doing the shadow work. And it actually, that's that paradoxical energy that when you do that hard stuff and when you look at the hard stuff, that it actually creates, I just heard like a Garden of Eden around you. People really like to be around you and in your space and in your inner circle. People really, really, really like that. They feel like you, with this exclusive, accessible kind of thing, your energy might not be super accessible. Like you have to make yourself accessible because you're really big. Like you're actually really, really big. And if you wanted to speak jargon, I remember reading, it was a study that this had to do with therapists, I think, and like the studies that they write, the papers on like PubMed or something like that, if they go to like Harvard or Yale or something like that, the language that they use is very accessible. They are able to explain themselves in a very accessible way, and you notice those speech patterns. But if somebody goes to like a lesser known school or something, those are the people that tend to use like the stronger jargony words, and they tend to make the knowledge less accessible. You don't have a chip on your shoulder about certain things, but you can certainly swim in those waters. You can run with the big dogs and pee with the puppies is what I'm getting. And people feel like your energy is actually very exclusive, but you do know how to make yourself accessible, like in a particular way. And you could have a bridge here of like, with this, look, old and new and present and past. I was getting like old school knowledge and new school knowledge. Sunny Night Designs, thank you so much for the super chat. Yeah, so you could bridge like something about you like with the past and the present. And for some of you, this might have to do with your style. So I don't know if you like to wear something like people would consider old-timey. Classic, I just heard classic, like pearls or something. I don't even know what I mean by that, but you could bring that in, or like your designs is what I'm hearing, or your art. Like, you know what's classic and what's tried and true, but there's a real bridge of like old world and new world, and your energy just has a way of revealing certain things that are concealed, that are, but in a very loving way, like in a very nurturing way. I feel like you're a really good friend. But I feel also like you have to protect your energy a lot, because I think you can probably get sucked into people kind of leeching on your energy or using your energy because they want you to play therapist. And I think you've probably had to learn that that's not friend territory. That's, I'm helping you, you're not really pouring into me kind of thing, but people still like really, really like it. The Lightheart Alchemist, thank you so much for the super chat. Omni-vibrational out here. Emily, thank you so much for the super chat. I'm so grateful for you and providing a clear mirror. Oh, you guys, thank you so much. Yeah, and Catherine just said, I won't cast pearls. Like, that's a reference to, like, I don't cast my pearls before swine. So I think sometimes people, like, this is what I'm kind of getting with the heart wounding energy, where people kind of realize that maybe you don't open up to them. And I don't know, like something here like that. And it's because you spotted something about them. Like, and I don't know, I also think that people follow your lead sometimes. Like, you could, it's not really canary in the coal mine energy so much, because you're not a victim to whatever this is. I think you just sort of see it from a mile away and then like skirt around it. And whether you know it or not, you do have people around you, even if it's kids, but you do have people around you that kind of watch who you're speaking to and who you're not speaking to, because they just know that you've got your reasons. Even if you don't articulate it, like, you've got your reasons for why you avoid certain people here. People think about the decisions you made too. I think there's somebody here that wants to apologize to you, or there's multiple people here that want to apologize to you. You're a very fair and just person. And if you have to make a firm decision around somebody, people do know that it's fair. And I think it hurts all the more because you are this like bohemian, very Page of Cups. You have this energy where it's like, if we can get along, we can get along. Okay. But you're setting the tone here. Like, if you don't know how to act, then I'm going to let you know you don't know how to act. And I'm not going to be rude about it. I'm just going to say no, and it's like very firm. And so it's firm, but it's also very loving. And because of that, love can grow around you and innocence can grow around you. And I think certain people are learning that about you as well. They're learning how to mimic that in their own families or their own spaces. And there's a lot of Hasta energy here as well. So you could have Hasta in your chart. That's the nakshatra in the middle of Virgo. It's moon ruled. Yeah, it's a moon ruled nakshatra, and it's very protective mother energy. You have that very protective mother energy, but also very loving and very, this pile kind of reminds me of a mom, to be honest. Like, it's very no nonsense. It's very loving. It's very, but it's like, okay, put that down. It's time to go now. Like, that's your energy. And people think of you as a mom. I don't know if you are a mom or you got that mom vibe, like even at work or something. If you're a leader, the kind of leader you are, it's that more protective mom kind of energy. Not inappropriate. You're not, I don't know. You're not crossing any weird lines or anything, but it's just very like caring, but also again, very matter of fact. And I actually think you'd be the person to be like, this is a work environment. We're not your family, like, we're not your family though. And you are expected to come in at 8. And I understand that life gets in the way, but try to get here at 8 tomorrow. It's like, you're very matter of fact, and where the boundaries are, you keep the boundaries. And again, I just want to say, because of that, innocence and fun and cutesiness can grow around you. And I also think this is a group where maybe you've had to make that transition, because I remember Alex said to me, he was like, I learned that when people started paying more attention to what I said, like when my words had more gravity because of the position that I was in or the way that I was looked at in a group, the less I could joke around, actually, because people took my words very seriously. And so I think some of you have crossed the bounds into that territory in some element of your life. And you're very good at knowing when to goof off and like when not to. And again, I think people just appreciate the environment that crops up around you because it allows for innocence to grow. And it's because you're in this like badao energy, and it's because you see the truth. The Castle card in this deck is all about believing a fantasy and not wanting to leave the comfort zone of a fantasy. And that, like, to me, it's always hearkening to like an ego space, because our ego likes to defend us from harsh truths. And not forever, like when it's healthy, it's not forever, but it's like, okay, I can't maybe deal with this now, but now let's talk about it. And I think you provide a safe space for people to not get hurt by the things that they're not seeing because you are seeing it, because it's like you're the first one out. And I just heard the teacher is the first student. So that's another thing with like the teacher student vibes. Kirsty, thank you so much for the super chat. You're so appreciated. You guys are so sweet. Thank you. But yeah, I feel like you're the teacher is the first student. And I also feel like that's vibes from you. Like, and again, I don't think people are trying to disrespect your energy, but I think they can see that student function in you, the curiosity, the interest. You might talk about like when I was learning this or when I was learning that, and you make it not intimidating. But your energy is like you're very acquainted with reality. You're not scared to look, and probably you are, but like you're just kind of further ahead. So you're seeing the reality and you're dealing with the reality. And so even though other people, I feel like people have to catch up to you in like the things that you're observing in a space and in your social environment, but they kind of recognize that you already saw it. And that even if you didn't, I really get that though. I feel like you don't say things like super directly if you don't have to, but it's like, they can clearly see in the aftermath of whatever has gone on that you were aware the whole time of where the bad eggs were and where the good eggs were, and that actually you were guiding in like a certain way. When people realize this about you, they really hone into your energy. Like I said, you're kind of that canary in the coal mine where they're like, oh, I noticed that person bit me, but I noticed you were never around that person, or you were only around that person for a little period of time, and then you moved away from that person. You see what I'm saying? People appreciate that, because they know that they can have their eyes closed around you. Do you know what I mean? Like you have that safety kind of vibe. And I do think people can teeter on the fence of being jealous of you, but also having a lot of love for you with this green energy, because you do make things grow. Like with the green, like you make things like very abundant, and it all comes from your heart space. This is also very Empress energy. And again, with the three is the number of the Empress. And the 3 could be significant here, but because you make things grow and it does come from such a loving place. But, it's the heart space is ruled over by Leo. So it's like that lion, it's the courage, it's the, you might make people feel brave, but I do think sometimes people can be jealous. And I just heard that song. It's like, if I could be like that, I would give anything just to live one day in your shoes. Yeah, but you're meant to inspire people, and actually people know that you're friendly, because I think you could be an absolute terror if you wanted to like rival, but it's always smaller energies, right? That feel intimidated, that want to rival against other people and like take them out at the kneecaps. You're not. You're very dignified, and you might not have, I think people can always look at you like a finished product. You know how like Athena was born from Zeus's head, like fully formed? I think sometimes people can look at you like that. Like if you weren't so like making yourself accessible and stuff, like, oh, you just popped out of Zeus's head, just fully formed. But I don't think you were. I actually think that you, like that little seedling, you had to grow up where, maybe people were trying to choke out your roots and like trying to block your sunlight. Like you had to figure out how to navigate through it. And so because of that, I think that's made you deeply compassionate, but also firm, because I think to grow up through whatever you had to go through, grow through what you go through is what I'm hearing. Grow through what you go through. You also make people feel less intimidated and afraid about life, And yeah, I'm just hearing that. Grow through what you go through. You're going to go through stuff. You don't get to go through life without being impacted in the heart space. You just don't. So make your decisions is what I'm hearing. So make your decisions. Let the chips fall where they may. Like, you have that. It's a beautiful, beautiful energy. Oh, and then I just noticed like the red and the green. So Christmas. Oh, and I just heard jolly old St. Nicholas. So you are... Okay, this came out in a reading that's going to come out. I'm really far ahead with the readings on my channel, and I just wanted you guys to know that too, because I don't know, like Jolly Old St. Nicholas came out in one of the readings, and I was like, I wonder if this is going to come out around Christmas time. But I was saying to Alex, I was like, St. Nick is really funny because to nick something is to steal something. It's like, it's thief energy, but jolly old St. Nicholas comes into your house down your chimney, doesn't take a thing, but just like gives a bunch of stuff. And I feel like that's you. Like you go into people's vulnerable space, maybe even in their house, you don't take anything, but you like give a lot, and people notice that, even if it's just like a generosity of spirit or something here like that. So there's a really positive vibe. And also, because Christmas time is Yule, and it's where the sun dips below the horizon for 3 days, the sun kind of dies. So I feel like sometimes you come across people in their darkest moments, like when they've had this heart wounding energy and their sun doesn't feel like it's glowing, and they're like, how do I get this thing back on? And then there you are, they kind of go through their dark night of the soul. And I just saw Amaterasu in my mind, the Japanese like sun goddess, where she's got to get kind of coaxed out of the cave. So I feel like a lot of you can do that for your friends too. Like you will let them be in their cave for the 3 days that the sun, you will allow them to do that. But then you're like, okay, come on. You do both really well. And some people don't understand that you actually, there's so much nuance to what you do. You're such a fine-tuned machine. So people, I think, try to replicate your energy, but they do the broad brushstrokes. They're kind of blunt objects when they're trying to replicate your energy. Because there's a time and a place to say, come on, let's get out of the cave. And you are very good at knowing when. Not a moment before and not a moment too late. And so I think some people are like, oh, well, I know that pile number 1 would be trying to get you out of your cave, but you're like, not for another 24 hours. That turkey's not fully cooked, but then somebody will try to do that and then they end up causing harm. Whereas like you cause help. That's the difference here. It's a subtle difference and it's an inner difference and it's a plugged in kind of difference. And you make the difference. That's what I'm hearing. You make the difference and you make up the difference. You're also that person in a social group that makes up the difference. I feel like the energy just shifts when you walk into the room, whether you know it or not, because you're obviously in every room that you have ever been in. But I feel like the energy just shifts whenever you are in the room. The party's here. I just heard from Jersey Shore. The little meatballs, Snooki and Dina. The party's here. That's you. Some of you could be small, but pack a punch with your energy. Yeah. My timing is impeccable. I noticed that before I knew my gifts. Yeah. And you're probably just plugged into something here as well. So, and you are not fooled by like fake friend stuff or anything. I don't necessarily think that you're going to call them out because people who tend to be like this, they're like hidden, they're frenemy kind of energy. It doesn't really do you any good to call those people out directly most of the time. And I think that you kind of know that, but I think that you're just kind of like, you'll humor them like for moments in time and then you'll kind of scoot away. Again, I think there are people that are starting to realize you've done this to them. And they're like, you knew I was a bad egg the whole time. I thought I had you convinced that I was your friend. And you were like, keep your friends close. Your enemies closer is what I just heard. So, yeah, I just feel like you're nobody's fool here, but you also have this really pleasant energy. And I think it's really up to other people, how the interaction goes between the two of you. And I think you trust yourself so much implicitly, I just heard that, you really allow them to determine how the dance is going to play out. If you can act right, then you'll be a part of my inner circle is what I'm hearing. And that's just the way it goes. And if you can't, then you won't be, and it'll be on you. And, good luck. God bless you on your journey, but you do have a journey to go on, And I think sometimes people see you and it's like, you're right there. There's something here. It's like, you're right there and they just want to like go up near you, but they don't understand the depth, the gap between their energy and yours. Cause you're in the same environment that they are or something, but there is just a gulf between where they are and where you are at. And they don't see it because a lot of people don't respect you as much as they should. They really don't. This is giving me Jesha vibes as well, where I think people also notice that if they help you, they end up getting blessed, because that's what happens in the Kali Yuga with Jesha energy. Jesha is the elder sister and her energy is cloaked in the Kali Yuga, but those who praise Jesha get blessings and those who don't get blessings. And so people just might notice that. You might not even know that that's something that goes on, but I feel like people have noticed that here with your energy. I also feel like you're an alert system. Like you'll tell your friend like what they're not seeing about something, where you're like, you're in a fantasy land. Excuse me. No, we're not doing this, but like you'll say it in a nice way. Like, okay, you're leading with your heart in a way that's, you got your eyes closed here. You're living in a bubble. And I love you dearly, but that guy is a dusty, crusty, busty. And I just don't want to see you get hurt, because if you go heart first with your eyes closed like that, you're about to fall 80 stories down, So yeah, this is what I'm getting here. Let me just see. Oh my gosh. Okay. I love this energy for you. Actually, this is like, okay. When I said, I love this synergy, can you feel the energy? Oh, that's a perfect metaphor, because remember the Barbie movie, for those of you that saw it, remember when everybody was losing their mind and they're like, oh my gosh, Nikki, thank you so much for the super chat. They're like, they think that if women ran the world, that it would be like just such a better place or whatever. But actually the story of the Barbie is the story of the Buddha. Like that's how they made it. It was like a female version of like the Buddha, because the reason why Barbie Land, in my opinion, this is just, I was surprised the way that people were talking about that movie. But the reason to me that was like a utopia is because they're plastic. They don't have actual flesh bodies. So it was that story of the Buddha where, he grew up in a palace. His father knew that he was going to be some kind of spiritual leader, so he did his best to make sure he didn't see disease, old age, sickness. That's Barbie world. So of course everything is good over there because they don't have pestilence and aging and, suffering. They don't have suffering. And so I feel like that's you. It's like, oh, well, there's something about you where it's like, oh, you're just in Barbie world, the fantasy world. But actually you're like, maybe you have had a bit of a story of the Buddha where you're like, no, I've really had to deal with like old age or, seeing the reality of things. And because of that, like the Buddha's heart, like he was like, we have to find an end to suffering. And that's what sparked his spiritual journey. So there's something here where there's something to do with suffering. But again, it's the lightweight kind of bubblegum quality of your energy. But then really you're motivated by the deepest questions of human life. This also reminds me of like Egyptian culture where they put their best minds towards solving death, and we don't really do that. Not solving death, but just like understanding death, like we just kind of like stuff it away. But I feel like there's something about you where it's like, you've got that underbelly. It's not a seedy underbelly, but it is scorpionic, where it's like, you're very tapped in actually. And that's where your bubblegum energy comes from, is because you're like, I just heard put a little love in your heart. But, with this, Libran energy, you are not this is, I feel like a major part of my message is like, not every interaction that you have should be Libran. Libra doesn't rule over everything. There's not a single energy in the zodiac that can rule over every single interaction that you have. Libran is one-to-one interactions, but certain people are not on your level. And it shows your mastery of Libra to say like, this isn't an equal conversation. You're not an equal counterweight to me, So no, we're blocked off. No, we don't have a Libran interaction. You've proven to me that that's no where you're at. I'm your teacher. Actually, if you would like to learn something, take a seat, but otherwise you're going to leave because we're not on that same level, and people appreciate that too, because this Libran energy, I feel like can kind of get weaponized against people that are maybe that like bubblegum energy. Cause it's like, aren't you supposed to be Libran? And you're like, I am Libran. I do understand Libra. Libra is about equality and there is none here. So, and this has to do with relationships as well. Like the people that you've broken up with or like not entertained, they didn't bring their full self to the table and you knew it. And I just heard you don't settle for less than what you're worth. And it's actually very inspiring to people. This is very much like the F around and find out group. I feel like there's a lot of people that have F'd around and found out with your energy, but it makes them love you more and respect you more. And I feel like they end up feeling wounded by it, but it's not really the way the dance goes, that they have like the right to feel that way about it. Okay, this is beautiful. This is beautiful energy. This is a powerhouse energy too. That's like, it's bubble. It looks bubblegum, but it's powerhouse energy. I love that. Yeah, and there's certain people. Okay, Pisces and Libra are connected on the light grid. They have like a lot in common. But I do feel, again, this is the energy that tries to replicate your energy. And I always look at the fish in this card. They just look so petulant to me. Just like, oh, can you believe that bitch? And then the other fish is like, I'm too good for this. Like, whatever. So I feel like when you reject people feel like haughty about it because they just feel entitled to your energy because you're a sweet person. And I think that you're like, you should not feel entitled to my energy or anyone's energy for that matter. I think you've taught a lot of people that actually. Yeah. Yeah. And you have an Aquarian streak. Okay, I'm going to wrap this up. I feel like this is a pile I could go on and on and on about, like the things that people love and appreciate about you. You have this Aquarian streak where like you show yourself to be different because you are so multifaceted that people try to shove you in a category and it doesn't work. And so I feel like if you have to, you show your Aquarian streak. And it's different for every person that interacts with you because it's like every person that interacts with you can see like a different side to you. Like I said, remember I was telling you that they see you as like 3 separate people, but it's very well integrated and it throws people off. Because they expect you to be much less than you actually are. So if they come at you sideways or if they come at you a certain way and you're bigger than that, like you will surprise people. And again, I think some people can feel betrayed or like, you liar, and it's like the fact that you don't get to know people before you make snap judgments is not a me problem. It's a you problem. Like, get to learn how to interact with your environment. You're 30 years old. Like, why don't you know how to extract truth from your environment? Why don't you know how to get to know a person? Why don't you know what it is that you're looking at? This isn't a me problem. This is a you problem. And I'm not going to feel bad for being what I actually am because you didn't see what I'm actually am. Do you see how crazy that sounds? No, like, yeah. And so I feel like a lot of people are like, oh, maybe I should shut my fucking mouth and like just observe people. Like you deepen people. You change people for the better and you change people forever is what I heard. Yeah. So this is beautiful. And you're also probably very protective of your home space. Okay, that was pile number 1. You guys with the super chats. Leah, thank you so much. Here's to Running G with the big dogs and peeing with the puppies. Bubblegum Powerhouses, House with the Wind. Thank you, Jess, Alex, Kitties, and Tribe. Thank you guys so much for all these super chats. I feel so loved. I know that you are intentionally sharing your gratitude with me, and I'm getting it, and I thank you so much. Okay, lots of clutching pearl energy from people who learned the hard way. Exactly. And there's the pearls again. So, that pearl energy, like taking something bad and turning it into something good. But I think maybe some of you wear pearls or you're just classic like a pearl, or there could be Cancer energy here. Or maybe that's if you have Cancer in your chart, that could be what causes the issue. Like where people are like, and then you show your hard shell or something. I don't know. Hi, Lena girl. Okay, I'm hearing this song Residuals by Chris Brown in my head too. So you've got lovers from your past that are like sad that you left them. And they always think of you. We're just going to put some gloss on. I literally had this whole conversation yesterday. People don't take a hint when I move on from them. After a thorough observation, they act offended. Like you can force yourself into somebody's 7th house, right? Exactly. Like you can force yourself into somebody's 7th house. People are forced to look at themselves. This is definitely that. Like, I think you have a lot of unaware people that think they can force themselves into your 7th house, that just refuse to acknowledge your sovereignty. It's probably been a big issue with this group. So if you keep your circle small, that's probably why. I think also there's a lot of people you don't think can keep up with you, you know? All right, Juan's at the ready. The day I saw that my Venus was in Cancer, I was like, why, Lord, why? Yay, welcome, Brandy. Okay, here for the gloss. Oh my goodness. You can't talk about me, think bad and do bad, then make a friend. Yeah, exactly. I really strongly get that, where it's like people do something and then try to blame it on you because they feel entitled to your energy. That's what it is, because you're nice. And people think that because you're nice, you owe them friendship. And I just feel like you're the right one for people to run into in regards to that. So, cool. That's pile 1. If you're new here, I'm just going to put this up on the screen. We just did pile number 1, which is the Pilgrim. We're moving on to Gnosis, which is pile number 2. And then we're going to move on to the third one, which is the Apocalypsis. Let's leave that up there for a second. This is a good time to join if you're joining in. Oh, my gracious me, oh my. It's not the way. My Venus, Mars, and Moon 7th house is like, no. You got a lot of different kind of people in there. Oh my gosh, maybe that's why they see you as 3 different people, so you could have people like tapping into the different parts of you. You are on fire, Jess. Yay. Thank you for that. My main pile was 2, then 1 and 3. All right. Hey. Okay, maybe this is like a groovy kind of pile. Those are the anchor cards. They're not choices, but just in case somebody wanted to see that. And we're moving on to pile 2. Let me compassion. Okay, I'm still hearing the song Residuals. Like, I don't know if it's just carrying over, but maybe that was like trying to bleed in from this group. I just heard that. Okay. I'm feeling greedy today. I picked all piles. Yes. I love the amalgamation of colors in pile 1. Oh, yeah. Under the Nail. Thank you so much for the super chat. Thankful for you. Thank you. All right. Hold on. I'm going to click this button. Oh, okay. Sorry. I just wanted to see what that did. Okay. Oh, my God. The 3 people. Okay. So pile number 2, Spirit. What are people grateful about for pile number 2? Okay, this is a fierce group because I think that I'm noticing the snake energy with this queen, and like she's got a hold of that snake energy. I think they're very grateful that you can rein yourself in. You have like a lot of power, whether or not you notice it, but I think people are like, "Whoa, I'm glad that's under control," kind of thing. Gnosis. Okay, there could be a travel energy here as well. You could be very well traveled. This is like a cultured group. I feel like you're very well cultured. Oh, your culture. You're just a good egg. This is another good egg energy. Okay. What are they grateful about? Okay, I feel like you're brave. Whether or not you know it, Oh my gosh. Okay, so it's similar to pile number 1, but it's much different energy, and I don't know how to describe this because you're also nobody's fool, but this comes through the water content where like pile number 1, it was very like air observational. Very psychic, this group, very emotional. This is like there's a power that comes through like your body and your energy. You're very much not one to be messed with. And you are also very protective here. But I feel like people know that they can cross you. Like people know. And so again, people feel like very safe here as well in your energy. Some of you guys, you have very good taste in music and you get people thinking. Okay, your energy, it's very similar to pile number 1, but it comes through so differently. I don't know how to describe this. You're very blocked off here as well. Like, you have very good boundaries. And I feel like people, okay, this is, and when people bump into your boundary, it gets them up in their head and they have some kind of like realization. I actually think this is an effect that you have on people. This is a part of your spiritual mission is what I'm just getting. But this isn't like pile number 1 where maybe they get the wrong impression of you at first. Like, oh, I think this person's sweet. Let me trifle with them. And then they just kind of get this smackdown. No, that's not the case with you. I feel like you just are what you are kind of a thing. And like when people run into this boundary energy, which is also the moon. So it's a very sweet energy here as well. They get very confused by that. They get very up in their head about that. And then it causes some kind of transformation. You're also very beautiful, very glamorous. You add a sense of like glamour to the room here. So let's just see. Look at all this moon energy. There's a lot of moon energy. People like to look at you, pile number 2. People like to look at you. They find you interesting, glamorous, nurturing, bright. I feel like you cycle in and out of certain spaces, but it's like you're the person that everybody heads all turn like when you walk into the room. I think this does have to do with like it is your beauty, but it's your presence as well. Looks like cheese. You need an audience to speak to the queen. Yes. I just keep seeing the moon. Okay, people are intimidated by you. You also might do a job where you come in, some of you is like traveling, after like a very bad experience. And you always know what to do as well. Because it's like when you're lost outside, look inside to your soul. I just heard that. But people watch you like working. People, you might not be interested in them. People take it to heart if they feel like you're not interested in them. Okay, this is a funny group, okay? So what are people grateful about? I also think that you don't like F-boys. You like Saturn. You like somebody like that shows up, is hardworking. You're not very vain. You know, like you yourself might be very beautiful, but you are with somebody who's like not very vain. I don't know. And I feel like it causes people to like look at you a certain way. You are a hard worker, but I feel like you are very beautiful, but you actually work very hard. And a lot of people think that you don't have to work very hard, but you do work very hard. People like really appreciate that. You are a powerhouse energy. People are very confronted by you in a good way. You also have people, you're a very protective friend, but you also have people who are very protective of you as a friend. You're a really good friend. That's another thing too. I feel like people can get obsessed with the look about you, and you are actually a very good friend, and you're actually a very hard worker. Like you're a real person, like you're salt of the earth kind of person. And you're also very no nonsense. And I just don't think you're preoccupied with like looks or superficiality, and people like try to control you and they can't control you. And I actually think that there's people in your remit that understood that if you were any less of a person and you could be bought or you could be like dazzled or something like that, that shit life would be like way worse. They're so grateful that you're the person that is beautiful and that you're the person that has that like sensuality because you don't fuck around. This is another fuck around and find out group. People can't control you. Like in the best way, people can't control you because you're just in control of your own self here. And you see right through people. You see right through people and what they're trying to do. This is also like people hit on you, even maybe if you're in a relationship or something like that. And you like people who maybe have more money or like something than like your spouse or like your significant other. And people just appreciate that you're just a powerhouse and you're not swayed because you are just like, you want what it is that you want. You also highlight the phonies in the room. The people who act like they're your energy, but they're not. Okay, this is also a dichotomy between like your actual energy and this other kind of energy, which I feel bad for Virgos. I actually really like Virgo energy. I have a lot of Aries in my chart, and we talk on I have a lot of Virgo friends, but like the look in her face kind of always gives me the creeps a little bit, and I feel like you kind of make people realize that somebody in this Virgo energy, you know what I'm seeing in my mind? The Woman King. I don't know if you've seen that movie. It's a very specific movie. I think it's on Netflix. But so there's this competition between like the king's consort and the warrior princess. I don't know what to call her. Probably not princess. Like the warrior, the leader of the tribes, who is a woman. And it's Angela Bassett. I love her. But so it's like the competition between the two of them. And I feel like you highlight the lack of experience or the frivolity, that imposter kind of energy here. This is hard to describe. You're hard to describe. You're hard to get a finger on. But it's like you're very strong in the way that you come across here at first. People appreciate that too. I just feel like you're matter of fact. I feel like you are, and people can feel like the same way, like sort of petulant about that. People like to have fantasies about you as well, but you just don't play along with it. This is a group that cannot be tamed. And people really are thankful about that. You've also potentially changed. Some of you have left home, or you really represent your hometown well. Like for some of you, like that's something. Let me just see here. There's X energy that's coming through here that was like pulled in by something messed up, and you had to heal from whatever this is. And I feel like you had to lose a battle, but you won the war, and you bossed up and you're in some kind of sovereign territory, and people are grateful for that because I feel like you're actually lighting the way. That's what this is with this moon energy. You're lighting the way. And look at the moon. The moon has taken all the hits. This is another thing. The moon is your most vulnerable bits in your astrology chart. And so you took some hits here in your most vulnerable, in your emotions, but you come off very strong. And so I feel like I just heard never let him see you sweat. So I feel like you never let somebody see you sweat, even though you were taking some hits like in your moon space, and you never stopped shining. And so yeah, and this affected your mental health, your emotional health, maybe your home, maybe your family. Maybe this was like an affair situation. And whoever this was that did this to you, I'm strongly getting like an affair vibe here. Then they got into a bad situation and now they want to heal the same way that you did. But you're the eternal flame. You're the flame that like never goes out. Now, for some of you, this wasn't an affair that you were in, but maybe this is like your friend or something. And I feel like you're sexy. I feel like you are this is Mama Wolf. That's what this is. And you don't try to like cater to men, or like, you have no problem being like, don't treat her like that. I feel like this is the group where I feel like you actually show women what their man should be doing. Like, oh, I'm sorry, you want to break up your family? You think that's cool? No, get out of here. Get out of here, Like you naturally, I feel like, get male attention, but it doesn't bother you. And like you have no problem telling them to get lost or to check their nasty dick at the door. Like you don't have any problem doing that. And you're a girl's girl here as well too. Like, so women don't even feel threatened by you, even though I feel like you're gorgeous. You're gorgeous. And I think you're the first person to be like, don't talk to my friend like that. Oh, you want to date my friend and hit on me? No, that's not going to fly. First of all, she knows about it. Second of all, we're about to have a problem. I'll bare knuckle fight you in the parking lot before I think about doing anything with you. Like, you're that kind of person. And people are so grateful. I really, truly feel like you have a beauty to you. And I feel like your friends and the people around you are so glad that it's you that has it because I feel like it's so well placed. But yeah, and you show people how to weather storms and still remain dignified about it. And so I think for some of you, like, you went through a difficult experience, but your friends go to you for advice for that because I just heard never let them see you sweat. And it's not that you're not affected. It's It's just that, I don't know, it's like you refuse to, you're just so strong. You're so strong, but you're still very real. Nora, thank you so much for the super chat. Keep the flow going. Yeah. And your energy is like very difficult for people to chew on because I feel like you bend norms. This is like you bend gender norms, but I don't mean that in the sense of like with who you sleep with or something. It's like your personality. This is very Jupiter energy. That's what I'm getting. Like this is very Jupiter energy where you are very robust. You could have like Jupiter is very lucky and it has a lot of resource and it manages the resource well. That's what I'm getting. You have resource here. Whether this is, I'm getting goosebumps. You may have time, money, resources, luxury, beauty. You might have all of it, but honey, you dole it out well. In a way that is refined. I'm getting goosebumps again. In a way that is fair. In a way that is helpful and safe and protective. But Jupiter, especially when it's a woman Jupiter, she is strong. Like she doesn't mind also like being the breadwinner of the family. Or it doesn't take away from her femininity. It's very femme fatale. I feel like this group is very femme fatale. But again, women are not afraid of you. Because you make women not afraid of you. Like I said, you're a good friend. This is like good friend energy. This isn't like, I feel insecure in my look, so I go out, try to be a femme fatale and steal people's boyfriends. That's not real femme fatale energy. It's also weak. It's weak sauce. It's pissant shit. And you'll check that person as well, too. And I also feel like you're not one to be messed with as well. Because I just heard like, oh, I'll fuck your man. Like, but I don't think you do that like often. But I think there's a certain kind of person that you will check and like you'll put them in their place that nobody else really in the room can check. And they're so grateful for you in those moments. You're like a bulldog. Like, I feel like there's certain moments that people have where it's like somebody that maybe throws their weight around or people are afraid of, you check that person. Or people have noticed that you make that person scared. You might not even notice or you might not even care, but I feel like you actually make that person scared. And so when you're around, that person acts better and people notice it. I also feel like you're unbothered is what I'm hearing. You have made people cry. I'm crying. Okay. So, this to me looks like he's, pleasuring himself, but crying. So I feel like this is also, very dominatrix, where it's like, you might really dress somebody down. Like, or maybe you have, and somebody like thinks about that and they like pleasure themselves to it. I don't know, because they needed it. They're grateful for it, but they also are like, yeah, because they can't get you. There's people here that think about like how they wanted you, but they couldn't get you. You're nobody's fool here as well. You may well have money or like you will have money. This is also, it's reminding me of Elizabeth Bennet in Pride and Prejudice, where she's like, only the deepest of love will persuade me into matrimony, which is why I will end up an old maid. And people in our time forget what it was like for women back in that time, but that's pretty radical. She was like, basically, I know that like my entire livelihood depends on me attaching myself to a man, but I won't do it. And I'll take whatever comes. It's kind of a thing. So I feel like whenever you get in love or whenever you get into a relationship, it's the real deal. Only the deepest of love will persuade me into matrimony. And also Elizabeth Bennet is the kind of person where Mr. Darcy, who owns half of Derbyshire, and gets $10,000 a year, pounds or like whatever. The miserable half. I wouldn't dance with him for all of Derbyshire, let alone the miserable half. Beth, thank you so much for the super chat. But like when I'm seeing that scene when they're all in the circle, because she overheard him like slight her to his friend. And she called it out, like dog whistle called it out, like straight to his face. And it was ballsy as hell. Like I feel like you're that person. It's ballsy. You're ballsy. And you're so cheeky about it. Like you can be cheeky about it too, but you're refined and dignified. This is a good energy. This is a really good energy to have around you. Heather, thank you so much for the super chat. Thankful for the community here. Thank you, Jess and Alex, for facilitating. You're welcome. That's me, and they are always stunned. Stunner. I just heard stunner. I feel like you are a stunner, but also there's a look that you give people that lets people know that you're with it and then it's not on. I feel like you can you communicate a lot with a look. This is powerhouse energy, but it comes up through your body. Yeah. Again, with Bridget, like May might be important. But you've been hurt. Like you've been hurt. You're such a strong person, but you've been hurt and you're disillusioned here as well. Oh my gosh, you're so hot. Pile 2. People love to look at you. People love it. But also Freya with irresistibility here. And she is the leader of the Valkyries who it's warrior energy. It's love energy. She is, she's the wife to Odin, who is like the leader, but, she's very sensual, very sexy, but the Valkyries respect her. Women respect you. Women tend to follow you. You make women feel safe as well. Yeah. You're good at solving puzzles here as well too. Like you're very strong. You're the real deal. You help people like rejuvenate themselves and their spirit. People feel uplifted and rejuvenated whenever they're around you. I don't even know how to describe this energy. It's elusive. It's mysterious. It's sexy. It's sensual. It's like nobody can fully ever have you. Nobody can ever fully grasp you. You're not interested in that. Yeah, Helen of Troy. You're just so beautiful. People think that you are so beautiful. But you also have this soft side and you understand love. And nobody's going to put you in a cage. I feel like a lot of people have tried to put you in a cage. I just heard, I know why the cage bird sings. People have tried to reduce you down to your looks and to your body as well. And they've tried to put you in their little cages and you're not interested in it. And it's like, I'll make my own way in the world. That's why I think you're so disillusioned as well. Look, powerful men too. Like powerful men like look at you as like their brightest bird. And they try to figure out how to shapeshift to get you. And I'm literally seeing Jasmine from Aladdin, where it's like the prince comes in on that camel and everything, and you want the street rat, like kind of a thing, because or you want to travel. You like being elusive. I think a man who is gonna tame you has to match you and has to catch on to your elusivity and has to respect you, has to kind of pop up there with you on like this level that you operate on. You operate on an entirely different level. That's the cheekiness I'm getting from your energy. You'll kind of drop in that like, what's going on. He's got to drop in there with you, but also respect you. He's got to be a partner. He's got to be an equal. And it really doesn't matter his status in life. It really doesn't matter his, so long as he can be with you on that level. That's what you're looking for. You're looking for that diamond in the rough. I feel like that's what you're looking for. My husband is still learning 22 years later. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I just heard, Jennifer said, so me, I like the wild ones, but I heard that song, was it Sia? I heard you like the wild ones. You really respect the wild things too. That's another one, the wild things. Like rewilding. You really respect like the wild, untamable nature. And I feel like that's your feminine side, is like this wild, untamable kind of like Sagittarius. This is so much Jupiter energy. So you're knowledgeable, you're intelligent. I feel like you also know how to like manage money here as well too. Powerhouse, like even financial powerhouse. Like this is an energy that you have. This is travel energy. This is adventure energy. Like you're nerdy in the sense that you have knowledge and like you catch on to things very quickly. You're the kind of person that's very successful, but then also like knows what's going on with your money. Like I don't think that that you would be like easily fooled by anybody. You got a lot of moxie. I really respect this energy a lot. You've got a lot of moxie. There's definitely a past situation. There's a past situation where I feel like women have tried to rival themselves with you. This is also why you don't like that kind of woman. And you can spot it from a mile away. And you just shut it down. I don't know. And you protect other women from this kind of woman as well. You're just the biggest energy in the room, but you're not a bully. This is nice energy to have around you. I think I said that before too. You also know how to decorate. There's a sense of luxury just wherever you go. This doesn't just have to do with your body and like the way that you dress. This has to do with your like environment. Some of you have really good taste. I just heard expensive taste. Sagittarius moon. People judge me when they look at me until I talk. Yeah. Because you're so cooperative. Like that's what's throwing me about this energy. Like you're the biggest energy in the room. And if somebody wants to throw down, you will lock horns and you will win. You will lock horns and you will win. And this reminds me of like JWoww from a lot of Jersey Shore references. You know, JWoww. So like Mike, he was saying once in like the little confessional booth or whatever, he's like, JWoww, I be seeing her in the gym. She be throwing them combos. And he's like, I took one on the chin myself. Like she's tough, like, I feel like you will win, and, but you're so cooperative here. Like we've got the teamwork card, we've got the 2 of cups, like, and I feel like that's the key to you is like somebody has to approach you with cooperative nature. And that's the key. And again, you're nobody's fool. And I feel like you're not easily swayed. You look at you, you're so self-contained, you're so self-sovereign. You're building something here beneath the scenes. I like this energy. Okay. I feel like you're a lot of people's wish fulfillment. You're like literally everything. You're the total package is what I'm getting. But you are breaking free. You're breaking out of some kind of pattern. But you're the kind of person that it's like a lot of people watch you. I feel like this is a part of your spiritual journey because a lot of people watch you because you are this. I just heard Purva Bhadrapada, so some of you might have that in your chart as well. But you are this kind of like energy. And because you've gone through what you've gone through, you reflect back here. And it's like people remember you, people watch you, people keep up on your story. Like even people you haven't talked to for like, I just heard 10 years. Like they're just like constantly Googling you, like to see what you're up to. And they always learn something. There's a very spiritual, magical kind of quality to people like checking you, clocking you, checking for you. Some people hurt you. They've hurt you in the past. People have hurt you in the past. Little pissant pieces of shit hurt you in the past. I'm really strongly getting like kneecap energy around like 18 to 22. Like you too young to know I had it, so it didn't hurt to lose it. You have always had this like ferocity to you that other people could see and they wanted to control it. And it's a sensuality and it's a sexuality too. People have always put you in a category that's incorrect. And I think it has to do with your sexuality or your sensuality. It's so well integrated, but too young to know I had it, so it didn't hurt to lose it. You didn't realize people were looking at you like a whole snack, that they were trying to gobble you up. You've had people try to eat you and try to like put you in cages and stuff. And that you've had to, this is also giving me, I'm seeing Princess Leia when she's in that like metal bikini and like the Jabba the Hutt kind of like energy. So some people check in on you because they want to see if you're sad or if you remember them or if they put you in like some kind of anxious state and then look what they see. And they're like, wait, what? And it causes them to meditate on themselves. So I'm telling you, there is this alchemy kind of experience where they're like, wow. It's like people are obsessed with your energy. This is the kind of person who wants to hunt a tiger, or like a bear. Like that's who gets obsessed with your energy. And I feel like you could have been like just really hurt or like turned off by people where you're like, the fuck is wrong with people? Like there's like a gross kind of person. You got introduced to the grosser, seedier sides. I heard especially of men, but like of human beings, like you got indoctrinated or like introduced to that early on in your life and you became the powerhouse. You know how people say like, I am the thing that bumps in the night? Like that's you. And you're not trying to play demure and you're not trying to play small for anybody because you know where that gets you. That gets you somebody trying to put you in their cage. I know why the cage bird sings. You're not an ornament. You are to be respected. You are a full person. I actually think that there are certain men that do not look at women like they are whole people and they're introduced to your energy because there's no doubting. It does weird things to people's brains, but like you're better than them. You're legitimately better than them. Maybe you have more money than them, you're smarter than them, you're more capable, you're more successful, you are legitimately better than them. And spirit moves you into these people's sphere to see what they're going to do to you, to see how they're going to handle that energy. You are an initiation. You are an initiation for these nasty men. But I feel like this has like been difficult for you. But things are changing here. People try to plant their seeds with you as well. And then they think that they're getting somewhere with you. And then you'll just like, out of the blue, just be like, what? And then they're like, whoa, wait a second. Like I can't win here or like I can't manipulate here. Like what? Like it like breaks people's brains. But people are happy about this. People that could be affected by a person like that being with a person like you for the long term are so grateful that you're not any less than you are. Because it could really affect like the energy. You set the tone. You have such a great bearing on the energy in our space. And you're so dignified about that. And if you ever gave like the keys to you over to a man who is lesser than you in every way, people's lives would really suffer. So they're really grateful. And I feel like you challenge certain things, norms and stuff. You're not afraid to speak your voice, but you're also intelligent about it because you also have this quality where you're a bit of a lone wolf. So I just feel like you don't go in, you're not in the rectum, you're not into the rescuer, victim, persecutor kind of triangle. You're not trying to go out rescue people from persecutors. You really don't care. But if something hits you and you feel moved to act, you will act. You cause people to realize that something needs to change for them. You inspire people to want to be a match to your energy. I think part of it is competitive at first. People dream about like being able to go toe to toe with you. I feel like this is love interests and friends and stuff. And they dream about being able to come back and be nice to you. That'll surprise you. So these dickweeds, sorry, this enemy friend thing, they have tried to cut you down in the past. And then they dream about being successful and coming back to get you and woo you and actually be nice to you. These fuckheads. Like, no. Yeah, something needs to change about their past. You make them realize that. And you are Venus. I feel like to a lot of people, this is Venus in Pisces. It's exalted energy. Yeah. You can be rough around the edges, but it doesn't take away from your femininity at all. Because I feel like there's a lot of women who feel like they've got to play into their femininity. How many times do we hear that? Like, be in your feminine side or whatever. And you're like, fuck that. I'll be who I am at any given time. Like, if somebody's going to come at me sideways, I'm going to protect myself. You know? Like, I just feel like that's your energy. You're not interested in playing the game. And I just feel like you've seen every trick in the book. I'm also seeing Eva Mendes' character in Hitch. That's exactly it. You're just over it. And she like knees that guy in the balls that like hurt her friend. And she does like a whole expose on him. Like, that's you. If you have a best friend, your best friend loves you. They love you. Yeah. You don't know a person really enough. Yeah. I feel my relationship is a trigger for others, and I feel that energy, then I think my partner is guilty for something, so I have to send the energy back, and then my relationship improves. Yeah. A lot of people want to take you down because they think that you're a trophy. Like, so this could be men and women alike. They want to trifle with your energy. This is also, I'm seeing the Beast's face in Beauty and the Beast, where like after Belle goes to town and she comes back and Gaston is like trying to hunt the Beast because he thinks it's a part of his manhood, and like the Beast is just like not even fighting back. Like, even if he did kill him, it's like not a thing because it's like, oh, I'm just so over this. Like, I'm so over being treated this way. Like, but then as soon as he wants to fight back, then he does. And I feel like that's you. You could easily take on anything. It's just like you're exhausted, and I feel like you're disillusioned and stuff, you know, by a lot of things. So this was a very interesting energy. It's, you're also a trendsetter. People are always trying to be you. Like, they're always trying to be like you. People just feel like they have to take your energy down a peg, or like that they want to take your energy out. Some of you expose cheaters as well. Like somebody will watch their man watching you across the room, and it changes the way that they think about their man. And they were like, I was going to marry that guy or something. And then they start to pay more attention to his behavior or something, like, or at least that's what you're meant to do. People are really grateful that you are emotionally balanced. Again, I just feel like it could be like very sideways if not. This was a weirder one. This is like your energy is very hard to put into words. And maybe you don't speak a lot as well, because there's a lot of similar energy to pile number 1, but it comes through the water element and like the body rather than, I feel like it can be very impactful, the watery parts of you. So like maybe having a schmegel experience with you, or seeing you cry, being in your emotional space, or just maybe even being around water, or like baptism kind of energy. Like, it can be a transformative experience. Yeah, I'm almost going to just leave that there because your energy is very dignified, very respectful. You really, you break the mold for people. People have not met a person like you, like before or since. People don't know how to deal with your energy. People think about you for a long time too. Even, I think it would surprise you, people that you hate and like have a disdain for, people that you are like, you're my enemy. Those people think about coming back to impress you or like woo you over. Even as like, they dream about being on your level. This is men and women. And I people that you don't want to, you think badly of these people, you know? And because you do something to people's brains. I don't know. I feel like a lot of men want to compete with you, actually. Because they don't feel like they're on your level. I'm sorry. I feel like you have not had it easy in like the dating pool. Yeah, and again, I'm hearing the song Residuals. All right. Yeah. I'm going to leave that there. Some of you are artists. This has to do with the voice, though, I feel. Music is big here. I feel like people try to find songs that, like, make them think of your energy or something. The dating pool has pee in it. Yeah. Mercy, Jess, you made my night. I met a childhood friend earlier who had just landed where I currently am. We crossed paths out of the blue, and it was refreshing to connect again. Good. The dating pool has fentanyl in it. Oh my gosh. Okay, cool. I think that's all we can really say about this. Impressive people, pile number 2. Okay. You're welcome. All right, we'll go back to the pile selection if you guys are just joining us. We just finished piles 1 and 2, which is the Pilgrim and Gnosis, and now we're moving on to the Apocalypsis. Okay. Compassion. What a psychedelic looking card, right? I always think about those, you remember those things like that you look in, the kaleidoscopes? It always looks like a kaleidoscope to me. Okay, pile number 3. Why are people grateful for you? Okay, I do feel like immediately I'm getting like your energy is very trippy. You cause people, this Apocalypsis is like about, it's an initiation card in this deck, and it is about, again, it's another initiation card, which we've had several of them, but just kind of breaking people's brains. But again, like you cause people to see things very differently. And it goes back and forth like between the castle and the queen, like is what I'm getting. And maybe this has to do with your energy here as well, but you cause people to see the world in a different place or in a different way. Maybe you're from a different place, or like you have like some kind of culture or something, you wear like fabrics or something that causes people to open up their mind. And I just heard free your mind and the rest will follow. Oh my gosh. Okay, this is a very skillful group. And I feel like you guys are problem solvers, and somebody who struggles with something for like a long period of time, they can't find the patterns in it, they can't make like the forest through the trees. I feel like you actually show them in some way, shape, or form. You're very good at, it's through a skill set that you have, or you have many skill sets. I feel you're a very skillful person, and you help them to see from a different angle, this Apocalypsis card. You help them shift it, and then it all kind of like clicks into place, and they're, oh, okay, I get it. And it moves them from being in a state of like illusion or not being able to see what the problem is or what's actually going on and actually defending and protecting that, to being in their power and to actually like shifting that and having some kind of like rebirth experience. You do have this Hecate energy. I feel like for a lot of you, you're fierce and you're brave, because Hecate goes in after Persephone. She's the one person that will do it. She'll go into the underworld. You're definitely not afraid of the underworld as a metaphor. You know, whatever that energy is, like you'll go into the darkness. And this is also service-oriented energy. I just got goosebumps again. Like this is a very service-oriented energy. You're also all about liberty, because look at like that crown chakra is what I'm getting. But it just reminds me of like Lady Liberty. I also heard Lady Luck. So people feel like, I just saw from Mulan, you know, the little cricket. It's like, you are a lucky bug. And so I think things tend to go right, but you make your own luck because you're very skillful here. Because this Lug, or like Lu, I don't know how you say his name, but he is a very skillful person, and he was trying to get in this like fancy city for the gods, but there was a rule to enter the city that you had to have a skill that nobody else there had. So he showed up and he had one skill. Well, and he cycles through many skills until he finally has a skill that nobody has. But he had all the other skills like ahead of time. So that's what I'm saying. It's like you are, for some of you could be generalists, but this is like very good generalists, because, and this is also what makes your energy stand out in our culture, because Western culture is very obsessed with specialists, people who go like very, very far into one field. But a generalist is somebody that is fluent in a lot of different fields, maybe that seem like they have an interest in it, even if it is like an amateur interest, but this is like very good amateur energy. And you have enough of an interest in like these different fields and stuff to where you can see the overlap, and it's like you exist in the overlap. And now they're showing me that that's kind of like underworld energy, but that's how you're able to see things from a different lens or some kind of different angle. And so you might be able to cycle back and forth through maybe even specialist energy. So you might attach on to something that people understand really, really well. And then you're like, yeah, but then also if you consider over here and you just shift it a little bit over to this other arena that they're not well versed in, but you all are, then all of a sudden it like something just like clicks on, and it's like you provide the key, and you unlock something. You are the answer here to something. And Yeah. Sometimes though, like people get a little intimidated by your energy because they don't know if they can trust you. Like they can see the strategy. They can see that you have a method to your madness, and they know that if you wanted to, you could destroy them. But instead, like you bring them a lot of hope and a lot of faith, and people trust you to look at their authenticity, even when it looks like that, even when it's like really gross and just like, ugh. And you teach them how to have like self-love, even in the face of whatever that is that they are looking at, and to embrace their uniqueness, what makes them special or what makes them different. And going back to like the specialist and the generalist things, I feel like people have tried to put themselves in one category, and you introduce them to the fact that they actually belong to another category as well. And that's what makes them unique. They're not just like this one kind of person that society has already outlined like the bounds of. They're not just that. Janae, thank you so much for the super chat. Watching your evolution as a reader and as a being has been so inspiring for me. You are pure love, pure power. I'm eternally grateful for the mirror and community you provide. Thank you for being here and loving us. So thank you so much for saying that, Janae, because I was thinking about that too. Like I've really grown as a reader, but that's what I'm saying. And maybe this ties into the reading somehow, because I like was a very skittish person in the past. Never on my inside have I been skittish. Like I've always been like very kind of call it like I see it. But like trying to like voice myself like in the world's always been very scary for me. So maybe this is like a part of it, is like you are bringing out something that's inside of you. And that kind of speaks to the amateur energy as well, because you could take this like very strong amateur interest in a lot of different fields, but you don't know how to like give voice to it, or you don't know if people will like it or find value in it. And then when you speak about these things, it destroys like preconceived notions or misconceptions, maybe about you or about a certain kind of person, possibly like with faith energy here with Joan of Arc, or Joan of Arc bends archetypes. You know, she was woman that was a soldier kind of energy. There's a lot of like weird tales about Joan of Arc too, where it's like, what's the truth kind of thing. Like, I don't know, she's kind of elusive, but there she is. She's like a teenage girl, and she's like, you know, gonna fight a battle. Like, I don't know, like you destroy people's preconceived notions about the world and about themselves or a certain kind of person. Or again, it's like that apocalypse energy of like seeing things, shifting things, and seeing it through a different lens. Barani Madahari 44, thank you so much for the super chat. Yes, so people, I think what you bring to the table is it's a different blend of traits, or it's very interesting, or it's very unique. It's also very pointed. Like there's something here that can be like very pointy, and people don't always know how to trust that, like when it kind of comes at them like in a straight line. But you really have like brought some kind of like apocalypse energy here. It's like I can see clearly now the rain has gone, and I can see all obstacles in my way. Yeah, and then Vishnu balance. I feel like you help people find a new balance. This is very much, people also could like your shoes, like your sneakers or something. But with, yeah, like this new balance, I feel like you help people as they're going through periods of transition, where they feel like they're the caterpillar and they're going through this kind of goo phase, and they don't know what they're going to congeal into next, but you help them find like their new balance. Yeah. And like to see the beauty in all of it here as well. And like you have this sustaining energy too. I feel like your power never wanes or something. Like you're not a one-hit wonder in something. Your power like really does sustain here. Yeah, obstacles, pleasure, and protection. I feel like you help people learn their limits and to know where the obstacles are, and to actually appreciate where the obstacles are, and potentially to remove obstacles here as well. And yeah, you help people feel safe and protected. This is another good energy. Yeah, people listen when you speak, and but people are also a little intimidated by your energy. So it's like they want to ask you a question. They want to ask you, yeah, they might feel like they got to catch you on the right day. You know, yeah, there's a lot of respect here for your energy. So this is like a shift kind of group. You help people shift certain things, and possibly even just being introduced to a person like you shifts people's perspective here. Let me just get a different deck. Yeah, you've got a lot of power here. But look, this is like another like paradox energy, because Oya looks like so tiny there. But she's like that power in the, I also think that you might bring the storm, and sometimes maybe people of like lesser intellect might confuse you for being the storm, but you're the healing. It's like a healing, like something was already in there. Something's already in somebody, and you've got to poke it, like draining somebody's knee or something as a metaphor. You've got to poke it in order to like get it out. It didn't come from you. It's not yours. It's theirs, but you can see it's there, and you got to release it. And it's like very dramatic and very like upheaval energy, but they feel so much better afterwards. And it's finally like drained, you know, and it's like kind of getting out of the way there. Yes, like, oh my gosh, that my lucky stars. I'm hearing like my lucky stars. Like people feel like it was divinely guided. It was lucky. Some people feel like you're an answer to their prayers. Like somebody will literally pray for like some kind of answer to a question, and then like you just show up, and you're able to kind of like shift this. And you're strong, but you're also like vulnerable here as well. Yeah, you show people where they're restrained in some way, and where it's good for them to be restrained and where it's bad for them to be restrained, and how we need to go about releasing it in what order. This is a lot of skillfulness, like coming here through this group. A lot of skillfulness. People have wondered, you would be a very formidable enemy. And I think a lot of people are very appreciative. People do know that you've chosen to use your power for good, because they know you could be an absolute terror and an absolute menace if you didn't. But there's also people that sneak around you that maybe want to date you. Even people that are trying to like fuck with you, they end up liking you and wanting to be your friend, wanting to be around you. Yeah, you make them even want to be better. This is powerful energy, but I feel like this is a group that probably has no clue. Like you might have no clue that you bring this energy, because you might feel insecure, or you might feel weird. But I feel like what to you felt weird or strange, or like maybe you've been ridiculed for having certain interests or something like in the past, it's actually the key to your own salvation as well. Because I've been hearing this one a lot, but there's a quote from the Bible where Jesus says, if you bring forth what is within you, what's within you will save you. So I feel like you first and foremost have rescued yourself here. And there's a lot of Mercury energy. There's no door that Mercury cannot unlock. And being able to like actually communicate, there's like a lot of healing energy here as well. Yeah. Oh my gosh, Janae said, this is wild because Spirit brought this to my attention by reminding me my name means God has answered. Oh, that's beautiful. Oh my gosh, look. The Empress. Another Empress energy. This is good energy. And things just grow around you. Yeah. You have the answer. But I do feel like it's like people need to prostrate themselves before your energy, because they kind of come to you like this. And we have a lot of intimidating people that watch my channel, I think. That's been kind of like a similar theme. Okay, what else? Why are people grateful for you? Actually, let me just see. Broken mirrors. Okay, so again, people could have gone through a period of bad luck. Remember I said you're good luck. People think that you're their like lucky star or something. So they could have gone through an extended period of bad luck, possibly like with an ex. Like certainly people that meet you and get to date you, which might be very few people actually. Their ex put them through absolute hell, and you for some of you could be like, I think a lot of this group could be therapists or something, where you point out why. You might be like, it's because you were dealing with a narcissist, and I know that you think that they're just so interesting and unique and just your brightest little star, but there's just a pattern. They're all the same, you know, and it's an addictive pattern. They just know how to tap into that addictive side of your brain. And once you understand the pattern, then all the rest of the magic kind of like, it's going to piss you off. You know, the truth will set you free, but first it will piss you off. So I feel like people kind of come to you in this inferno energy, chaos, job loss, everything crumbling, like where everything feels like it's kind of crumbling down. And then you are able to highlight, like bring about the softer feelings here. People might hide their feelings for you as well. Unfaithful love triangle, the ex in question. Yeah, I feel like people that you've dated, this has been like a transformative experience for them to be with you. And maybe after they did whatever they did to you, everything started crumbling. Like this feels very divine energy. Yeah, self-love. But I think people realize that they treated you the way that they did because they lack self-love. But also, I think that you've really broken the mold for people, like whenever they get into a relationship with you of whatever kind, romantic, friendship, professional. Yeah. And it actually, for somebody could be really stuck on their ex. And then they meet you and You are healthy. You're the healthy version. I really think that it's like when people are stuck on their ex, when they come to you, it's like just narc energy. They're just stuck in like the narcissist loop. And here you are, you're actually somebody that is genuinely interesting. And you genuinely are like a rare bird. And so that like you help detach. It's like I'm seeing the Queen of Wands like lighting a field on fire, like for that fertility to kind of grow in. And you bring that to people, taking back control, finally being happy. People feel like they can finally take back control and be happy in your presence. And because of your, and they see things differently through this lens, pictures, regrets, reminiscing, missing you. I'm strongly getting this is like people who have mistreated you, then they see things through a different lens. But also again, like there's a sense of people being stuck on a certain kind of thing or a certain kind of pattern, and it's shit, and it's always been shit, but they just couldn't see why it was shit. And so then you show them that, and it retaints all of their memories, all of their pictures, and it finally allows them to take back control, and it finally allows them to free themselves and to connect with like their determined energy. Persistent, still holding on. Yeah, they're persistent. So you give people the ability to see themselves as a powerful person, as an in control person, as somebody who can understand what happened to them and like why, you know? Yeah, stubborn, like so that they've been stubborn in the past, or that they were just dealing with somebody who's very like bossy and a push-pull dynamic, power struggles, imbalance. This is like, for some, this is in the body, or it's between these two fields that you kind of connect here. Infatuation. I feel like a lot of people are infatuated with you, or you this is another one where people could check in on you. Like, remember I was saying in pile number 2 that a lot of people are infatuated with you, but they might hide their feelings. And so they just always check in on you. And it's always just like a profound experience whenever they do. It causes them to contemplate. Some people could think that you've given them the cold shoulder here, though. And maybe you did. Oh, yeah, because of a fight that you had with people. Half truth plus half truth equals a lie. And it's because they're not telling you the whole truth about their feelings, or and you just sense it. And so I feel like you move away. People like that, actually. People do like it that you pick up when they're not telling the total truth. Yeah, you help people in their lowest time. But also for some of you, like losing you is a huge loss. Like just in case you don't know that. So like when you say no and you have to block somebody, I think it kind of does send them to rock bottom. I think you kind of know this though. So you don't like to do it, but if somebody really pushes you, I think it's hard for you to do it. But you're also like nobody should be like leeching off of you and not giving back. Like you have this talent, but this kind of reminds me of pile number 1, where it's like nobody's entitled to your energy. They need to appreciate you. They need to be kind. And if they can't do that, they need to at least be quiet. You know, deuces. Yeah. Fed up, cutting ties. There's people here. You help people cut ties with vices, with negative patterns, with ways of looking at the world. Yeah. I feel like you help people see themselves as a good person and not a bad person, and somebody who got caught up in a certain like pattern or something here like that. Yeah. You just have an elevated perspective. That's really what's coming through here. Elevated perspective. Kayla said the truth will set you free, but first it will piss you off. Anger is moving up the vibrational scale, but it's what you do with it. Be fed up. Stop settling. That is the freedom. Yeah. Giving yourself your own freedom. Taking your power back and saying like, I am angry because my anger is trying to protect me. It's a purifying experience. That's that Queen of Wands energy. It's a purifying experience. And to take your power back, you know? Thank you. Interesting. I mean, I think a lot of people want to say thank you. Austere energy. I think a lot of austere versus overt. I think a lot of people think that, I don't know, they're surprised by you or something, that people want to see you expand. Because it's like, why are you so austere, like with your gifts or with your energy? Like, be more overt. And I think some of you, it's like you can be very specific. You have a seniority here. Like, yeah, I think it's maybe taking you a minute to kind of step into that energy or to feel comfortable in that energy. Yeah. I'm hearing the song Brave by Sarah Bareilles. You can be amazing. You can turn a phrase into a weapon or a drug. I think some of you need to be reminded about that you can turn a phrase into a weapon or a drug. You just choose not to. Some people have gotten way too comfortable in your energy disrespecting you or disrespecting other people around. And so I think some of you, that anger energy, it's like snapped you into like, wait a second, I can be amazing. I can turn a phrase into a weapon or a drug. And I am not actually going to be your doormat. So deal with that. You've connected with your power here, or you connect other people to their power and their focus and their drive. You help people understand where they need to put their focus. You give people direction and without coddling their ego is what I'm hearing. It's very powerful and it's very effective. That's the word that's coming through. Very effective, because I feel like people may come to you when nothing else has worked. You know, it's like, I don't know. I know they think that they're expecting. People think they know what you're going to say, because I feel like people have gone to other people before you. And so they're thinking that they know what you're going to say, but then you take them down a different path and they're like, wait a second, I wasn't expecting you to say that. And then it actually works. There's a method to your madness, I just heard. And maybe that goes back to anger. There's a method to your madness. It actually does work. I'm free now. So something occurred there that didn't happen with anybody else, or that didn't happen, like something occurred there, and it gets people's attention. Yeah. With this guidance sort of an energy. So you're a leader. Look, Hecate, you're brave too. And you're protective. And you're protected. I actually feel like I just feel like you're creating, like, people want to protect you. Especially people that are in their flow. Yeah, like, I feel like you have this effect on people, and then they feel very protective over you. Because they're like, no, this actually works. And, I don't know, kind of a thing. Yeah. There's a method to my madness. Let's see. Anything else? I just heard there's favorite energy here. I don't think you realize that you could be like a favorite. Strength. People like your strength. And it's because when something about you being strong helps other people feel like they can be strong too. And that they have choices. It's like you help people realize that they have choices, but you also help them narrow down their choices that have been very diluting and very confusing. Like choices that are not good for them to have. It just confuses them. It just muddies the water. And you're like, nope, get rid of that, get rid of that, get rid of that. Where I feel like amateurs, like people who are genuinely amateurs, they're not as good as you, or they're not as fluent as you. All they do is like they add in like a lot of stuff that I feel like ends up confusing people. But I think you're good at like saying nope and nope and nope as well sometimes too. Even if you can't like make the decision for them or just narrow, you know, they still have to bring themselves to the table. But like, I think that you help people progress, and it's hidden. It's hidden the way that people are progressing. You're just doing your thing too. Like, yeah. Illuminator. That's what you are. You are the illuminator. Look, Queen of Wands. I knew it. There's a very Queen of Wands energy here. Angels, Ace of Angels, it's wisdom. So this is the Ace of Swords. You tell the truth. Illuminating the truth. That's what you do. You illuminate the truth. The truth will set you free. And I'm seeing her draw like Excalibur, you know, the sword, and use it. There's a lot of potency and a lot of power here too. Mm-hmm. There's something that you do with limitation too that I can't quite describe. It's like the difference between, okay, say you got to build your own house, like from scratch. The possibilities are endless. You know, if you can dream it, you can do it, kind of a thing most of the time. But like if you move into an already existing house and it's like, okay, well, how do we work with this particular layout? Yeah, I mean, we can't do this or that, which has always been like a dream for me, but like, how could I work? What does this want to be, kind of a thing? And you teach people how to work with their limitations. Like, yeah, I mean, you can't necessarily do this kind of floor plan with this setup, but what does this want to be? And like, try to bring that out. And then actually when they bring it out, they realize that it's very special and like that it's very unique to them, and they're very appreciative, and it ends up working better than what they thought they originally wanted anyway. You know, it's like something here like that. Nine of Hearts, stability. Yeah. And I'm hearing, this came out in one of the readings, acceptance brings stability. So I feel like there's something here where it's like, you teach people how to accept certain things, and it brings, acceptance brings stability. Harmony brings, like, you bring a lot of harmony, but I feel like it's by way of this apocalypse. It's like, okay, well, this is the tower that was built, and it's all built on false foundations. So it sucks, but we're going to demolish it. Boom. It's gone. That sucked. But now look, you know, now look what we can do, you know, kind of a thing. And I think you get people jazzed about it too. where you're like, dang, I've just been putting off, like this stupid tower needed to come down for a long time. I've been putting it off and I keep adding to it. Sunken cost. You don't fall into the sunken cost fallacy for sure. So yeah, I think that's what I have for you guys, pile number 3. Some of you may have interesting tattoos as well, or like body art, or like an interesting way of dressing. Like, and there's a strength and vulnerability to you, and possibly like the way that you look, or like the way that you surround yourself. Let's make your mind a beautiful place to be. I love that. Oh, you said you're demonstrating it now. Thank you. Using limitations as fuel to bettering oneself. Limitations are an opportunity. Yeah. Energy wisely used, it propels one up. Daddy Saturn. Yo, Daddy Saturn. Yeah. Look, the limitation card came out again. An advancement. Limitation is another word for advancement, is what I just heard. Like, I just saw somebody put their foot on it. Like, there's like a blockage, and I just saw you just grab yourself up, put your foot on it, and then you just like propelled yourself forward. It's like, it's about how you look at it. That's what it is. It's about how you look at it. You're looking at it like it's a problem. But what if it was there to help you? Now, how does it look? Now, how does it look? Breakthrough. Yeah, you initiate breakthrough. It looks like a breakthrough. It looks like your teacher, Daddy Saturn. Teacher, right? It looks like your teacher. Okay, cool. So that was pile number 3. And there's a lot of compassion in it. Oh my gosh, this is the embodiment of this. Compassion, oh, money paid me home. Like enlightenment, seeds of enlightenment. Just your energy carried us through tonight. Thank you, thank you. Oh, thank you guys so much. Trying to break generational curses is of lack mentality. My family is stuck in it and I'm trying to help them free themselves. Yeah. Pluto and Saturn, 14 years. 14 years. Nice. Okay. Compassion. All right. So moving along here. I just heard that song. It's like, move along like I know you do. Move along. Ah. Yum. Thank you, God, for water. Okay. I'm just going to gloss, and then we can do general. Now what? Now we do general messages. Nectar of the gods. Indeed. Okay. There's a beat there. Okay. Uh-oh. There's an angry card. Okay, somebody's mad at you and you don't even know. Because you did a tower moment to them. This is what's wanting to come through. This person was really hoping to affect you in a negative way. And you like reverse Uno'd whatever this was. Sarah, thank you so much for the super chat. And they're just looking at you very angry. They wanted to see you like burdened, possibly by money. They also wanted you to take some kind of like low-hanging fruit kind of offer, or they wanted to get you into some kind of contract or some kind of binding contract. And you didn't do it. You didn't take the bait. So this person is wanting to make you responsible for not taking the bait. But if you had taken what this person had to offer, this is a weird thing to be angry about. This person just doesn't like you. And, they could think that you're responsible for some, like maybe a relationship ending or something here that they had built actually crumbling and falling. So there's somebody who doesn't like your truth energy. They wanted to get you into some kind of position here where they could kind of dominate you and that you wouldn't know about it. But you have sidestepped that. I just heard Parvati. So you could work with Parvati, or Parvati just had your back on this. Like, I don't know. I just heard that. And there's like a star family energy here as well. This person, somebody wanted to get you in a subservient position financially to them. Like, and that way they could pretend to offer you this like benevolent energy. They wanted to make you some kind of offering, they wanted to transform your relationship here somehow. But you put up a blockage and you ended the cycle. And if you're wondering, if you know who this person is, like right off the bat, you put up some kind of blockage and you ended the cycle and you purified this space and you broke the mold in some way. And I feel like somehow you breaking the mold is what caused like this kind of tower moment here. Look, this is that cheeky face I saw some of you making. That cheeky, like, whoops. I'm seeing Black Widow, and she's like, did I step on your moment? Whoops, did I step on your moment? Like, that was you. But this person has a nasty moment, whatever it is. I think they wanted to break the mold with some kind of argumentative energy. They wanted to disrupt your peace. They really want your attention. It's giving child is what it's giving. But yeah, this is also like Jesus being tempted by the devil, and you didn't take whatever nasty cup they were trying to give you. You didn't do it. You didn't jump in. You didn't take some kind of impulsive action and it confused this person. And possibly there's more than one person here and they were like, kind of a thing. And yeah. And you could have even just like walked away from the group or something. And again, you might have been emotional, but it was like behind the scenes. There's a lot of finger pointing in this group. I feel like there could be more than one person here. It could be somebody here was going to attack you verbally. But something to do with the past. There's a karmic that's like on your heels. Look at that little shark there. And they wanted you to be led by a false sense of idealism and trust. And you were not. Yeah. You are very skillful, this group. And it's confused people. I just feel like you naturally sidestep stuff. This is reminding me of like Tai Chi, where you just kind of see where the energy is going and you move with it, or you just kind of step out of the way. And the energy somebody was throwing at you is like, I think what ended up causing this tower moment. It wasn't you, but people that are not as refined as you, I don't think that they understand that this is what's going on. So I think sometimes people will look at you and they'll be like, oh, you caused this tower moment. And you're like, I stepped out of the way. That was all that energy came from you. I just stepped out of the way and then it boomeranged right back around. I didn't cause it to do any of that. It just did that. That's the nature of these things that you're fucking with. Like, yeah. Somebody here's grateful that happened though. Who is this person? You might know who this person is. They're trying to throw off your intuition. They're trying to, this is not an equal or fair person, but they're preoccupied with you. For some reason, you are their favorite. They could be going through financial difficulties now. Maybe because of this tower moment. Maybe because they built on like faulty foundation. They should be mad at themselves, but they're not. They're mad at you. It's like this person built in a swamp and they were like, I can't believe the bottom is caving out. It's your fault. And you're like, maybe it's your fault for building in the swamp because you know what a swamp is, or Google could have told you. Like, you know. They're just so shocked that they're like plan didn't work here. They really wanted to see you thrown off your game in some way. What did they want? Why? Why is this? They wanted to cause a tower moment for you. This like reverse Uno'd and it fell back to them in some way. And now they're mad at you. This person needs to spend time alone and they refuse to spend time alone. Or maybe it's like you left this person alone and they are refusing to honor that. This person is disrespectful. This is the kind of person, I don't know how else to describe this. It is so not a wonder. It is so not a shock why people do not like this person and why people do not want this person in their life. Because when you tell this person no, they get uppity, they get angry, they don't honor your boundaries. And then this person has the audacity, the ignorance to be surprised that you don't like them. And they think they're going to, remember when somebody said in the chat, I think it was like in group 2, and they were like, they're trying to force themselves into somebody's 7th house. That's what this person's trying to do. And they feel like it's your fault and it's you're wrong for not letting them. I'm seeing a card in one of my decks that's called the Forcer. They're very forceful with their energy. And of course you don't like it. And instead of this person pausing and reflecting and saying, I'm trash. I honestly am trash. And anybody would have this reaction to this. This person is just continuing to push. And nobody likes that. They don't know what else to do though. Like this person really does not know what else to do. Spirit is trying to contact this person, but it's a small voice. And that's part of it. Is like this person needs to stop. They need to calm down. They need to realize they don't have the truth about certain things. This also could be a person that surrounds themselves with liars and people who will reflect back lies to them in order to make them comfortable. But actually, it just keeps them stuck. And it keeps them impotent. And your energy is very opposite to that. Maybe you are like the pile number 3 person. And they don't know how to see it. They don't know how to look at it. They don't know how to read your signs either. Because I think this person, maybe the Tower moment was thinking that you were in this Eight of Swords energy, that you were trapped in your head or something. And then, but that's not what was going on. They just didn't know. They don't know how to read you. You could have been defensive. Oh. Okay, you could have been defensive, but your defense is more this Queen of Swords energy where you're not like on the back foot. You're defensive, but you're observant. You're like kind of watching, what's going on. This person resents you for how strong you are, how amazing you are. This is the kind of person, this is like very crabs in a bucket mentality. This is the kind of person that they don't like when people are strong and when they are advanced and when they learn new skills and things like that. This person was also trying to bait you in with some kind of relationships that you already had. People that you love. Because they thought, oh, this is a person who's tried to control your community. And they're like, well, because I own these people, you have to come back at some point. And you were just like, no. And this person's like, you can't win. And you're like, you're right, I can't win. Relationships should not be a thing where where you can win or not win. It shouldn't be. So the fact that that energy exists at all with this person and with anybody that would allow this person in to do that, you're like, yeah, you're right, I can't win. So also, there's no possibility for relationships. I'm just going to leave. I'm just going to move on. Yeah, and things are growing. Things are growing around you, and this person cannot stand that. You just reverse Uno everything they try. This person is so strategic. They're so strategic. They want to weasel their way into your routine, to maybe your family. They want to get into your mind in order to get into your mind and your emotions to try and control that. Because this is a small person. At the end of the day, this is a small person. Their fears, they don't see things clearly. I also feel like this person's angry because, again, you see things very clearly. And this person does not see things clearly. And Spirit is just reflecting back that they're so small. And they need to stop. And they need to sit at the back. And they need to cover their mouth. And they need to take notes for like 2 solid millennia. Like, honestly. This person is really not going to give up. This is a very annoying person. Might be annoying, but they like to act like they're benevolent and they like to act like they're magnanimous and that they're your friend. But I think you're on to this person. The truth is that you're better than them. The truth is that you're strong and your judgment is true and that you are your own wish fulfillment. You've got the truth and you're growing. This is very positive energy coming in for you. This person is very small and they're very strategic. They're trying to give you some kind of poison cup and it's not going to work. And it's because they're supposed to be in this energy with the hangman. They're supposed to pause, stop, reflect, try to see something from a different angle. They have the key to release themselves. I feel like this is a person who just likes drama. And they're at a crossroads. This person is at a karmic crossroads moment, whether they realize it or not. I just heard measure your next steps very carefully. Measure your next steps very carefully. I feel like this person is being tempted by something here, something dark, because they feel like something here needs to change. They're being given a choice and something's going to come in. They need to leave you alone. Yep, they need to leave you alone. So they're either going, this is the builder or the saboteur energy. Man, this always comes through. So they need to take this journey on their own, be independent, one foot in front of the other. They need to be stable and calm and like whatever. And they've got a long journey ahead of them and it's going to be like kind of slow moving, or there's a big death energy that's coming in. Something here is going to break. Yeah. And whoever they're trying to get to point their fingers at you is actually going to join forces with you and move away from this. They're going to see the rottenness, like in this rotten to the core, I just heard, and they're going to move away from this finger pointing energy. Or you are going to move away from this and you're going to find like your actual lover's energy, whether this is an actual relationship or honestly, I feel like this is community conversations that fulfill you, where you actually feel safe and with people who honor your boundaries. Ace of Pentacles for me is always a boundaries card. People who honor your boundaries. It's wild to me that these people, or this, it's led by a ringleader here, that they're like, I feel like you've been very clear about your boundaries. These are people that consistently bump up against your boundaries, which means that they're consistently disrespecting you. And they're just like Pikachu face why you don't want to be around them, why that you find them deeply unpleasant and also rude. disrespectful. They're trying to bulldoze over your energy. It's just not the way. I mean, who raised these people? That's kind of like, yeah. They don't understand about reciprocity and boundaries. Yeah. They see you in like a very strong energy though. And like manifesting, and your ships are very much coming in. And if you haven't seen that yet, your ships are very much coming in. There's a lot of manifestation energy here. There's so much lack over here in these people's spaces or this person's spaces. They're very angry. I feel like they could be going through money difficulties, and they're in some kind of fantasy about that. This person's secretly watching you. They secretly see you as a wish fulfillment too. But they don't like equal partnerships. And you are actually bigger than this person. You actually have more than this person. And I don't think this person can take this subservient step. I feel like Spirit has reversed this on this person as well. Because they try to manufacture dominance where they are in fact not dominant. And it's tyranny and it's bullying. And so you naturally are actually bigger than this person. And they need to take a knee. This person needs to take some kind of yeah. And they need to stop hanging out with nasty people that they maybe hang out with in secret. They hang out with these people in secret in order to sneak around. This is gross. Like, get rid of this. Come into the light. I'm seeing from Beauty and the Beast where she's like, come into the light. Like, to the beast. Somebody here's trusted the wrong people. And they feel anxious about it. This could be this person that says, thank you. I'm so glad that you removed me from this situation or something like that. Like, I'm glad that you did what you did. They're very sad because they want a new beginning with you as well. But they kind of just feel subservient to whoever this group is. And they need to get their independence. So there's different energies that are coming through. But there is a very nasty negative ringleader. Yeah. I feel like you're thinking about work, but there's somebody that's chasing you, and they're chasing you in this Page of Cups energy. But you know what? Butter wouldn't melt in this person's mouth, and I feel like you already know that about them. I feel like you've got this person's card. Literally, you're like, you're not sweet. I'm not stupid, and you're not sweet. Let's get that straight. I'm not stupid. You are not sweet. So unless you're willing to talk about what you actually are, which isn't sweet, you're strategic and you disrespect people's boundaries and you like to start arguments and you're a drama-fueled asshole. Unless you want to start by saying that, we are not going to have a conversation. We're definitely not getting off with this energy. And apologies are not going to be accepted if you come in and go, I just want to apologize for you. Tell me you're a dick. Tell me you're an asshole. Tell me about the secret conversations that you were having. Tell me about that. I'm not sweet. I'm not sweet either. You know? Like, that's what I feel like you're saying. Like, I think you were very sad about this in the past. I think it's the strategy. It's like the behind the scenes strategizing of this like group, the teamwork, the collusion. Yeah, there's something here that like has broken your heart about that. It's broken your heart about that. There's something here that's just broken your heart, and you'll never get over it. I just heard you're never going to get over it unless they address it directly and for a long period of time. This person does have to kind of grovel. They kind of have to prostrate. This person's so prideful and they are so like up on their fucking high horse that they can't admit that they were trash. Like this person has to admit that they're a piece of shit to you repeatedly and often. And I just feel that's the only thing that's going to shift this energy here because it's the truth. This person needs to get real and they don't want to get real. And they just instead lash out and they get upset at everybody that tries to like tear down the castles that they try to build in the sky. So you have to collude with this energy in order for it to be around you. It is not, I repeat, it is not a compliment that this person is your friend. It actually rather looks bad on you to have this kind of person be your friend. It means that you lack courage. It means that you lack morals and scruples. Or it means that you can't see who they actually really are. But it doesn't look well upon you to tolerate this kind of energy, to not uproot it from your space. It's not a good thing. It's not a good thing. I feel like you can see this energy with your eyes closed. And you are not tolerating people who cannot see it and who refuse to acknowledge it and call it out directly. I think these dicks, they have no problem calling out your energy. Your energy that is very truthful, that sees straight through the bullshit, that demands something better from people, that demands truth and honesty and actually being a good person and not pretending to be a good person. No, they'll all turn on you. That's who this group is. They're going to point, that's the person they want to point fingers at. Not the actual rotten, nasty, bad apple who is dramatic and is intentionally trying to start shit with you and you're not even bothering anybody. You're not even bothering anybody. So that's who these people are. So they're fueling up a very negative, nasty energy. But I feel like it's like this weird energy where they all try to keep the peace around it. Like, let's all just be in denial and say like, well, we're just trying to be good people. We're just trying to reach out. No, you're not. You're trying to start shit. You're trying to start shit and you're pissed that it couldn't work. That's who you really are. That's who you really are. And if this is you, this person has your card, okay? And they're really not going back. They're really not. They're done. This person is so beyond done. Like, there is no reviving the situation. They couldn't if they wanted to. That's how little they think about this group and whoever this ringleader is. And this ringleader, I think, will be nowhere near. I think step 1 through 10 is this ringleader being permanently outcasted and held at bay. It's like if they're around, this good person isn't. So that it's like one bad apple spoils the whole bunch kind of thing. So it's like, do you have Scar or do you have Mufasa leading Pride Rock? Which one? And right now it's Scar. And everything's going to die. And like, it's that I'm seeing from Moana too, where it's like the heart, somebody hears the heart of a group. And so it got like pulled out. And so like the diseased energy is kind of like being allowed to take over. But all the good people have been on the lifeboats and they're getting like away, you know? So this group has group karma where they need to uproot this negative, nasty person from their space and just say, not you, not now, not never. Not you, not now, not never. And I rue the day that I helped you harm somebody who wasn't bothering anybody. They're not bothering anybody. And this is also a person who, I just heard like their machinations. Like this is somebody, whoever's doing this is like they pretend like they're sweet. Okay. But like, again, butter wouldn't melt in this person's mouth. And also I think that you feel that there's something about this other group where it's like they're coddling their own shadow energy because they really should know better. There really is no excuse not to know exactly who and what this person, they overlook it because they also have an agenda towards you. And you know that. So you're nobody's fool. And also I just heard you say, I'm not as sweet as you think I am. I'll be sweet if you're actually sweet. The fact that I'm not sweet to this person, that's a real big tip off. It's because they're not sweet. They're crazy. I just heard lunatic. They're a lunatic. A community of fakeness. Yeah. Changing the guards can be devastating. Yeah, and this group's going to reap what they've sown here. They've made their, I just heard, I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of Ass Hattery and to the Republic. I'm joking. Yeah. Shakes the karmic no can. That's what I'm getting. Is like somebody like shaking up a fizzy can. And you're like, oh, like nobody should open that. And then like you leave the room. And then they open it. And then everybody's covered in like some kind of nasty gunk that was in there. Like that's the vibe. So one bad apple will spoil the whole bunch. And this is also an apple that somebody here has let have control over the situation. And they're not half as slick as they think they are. Because there's some kind of collusion in private in order to have some kind of coordinated attack on your energy. And then these people are like, oh, you don't want to be our friend? That makes you a bad person. And you're like, okay, fine. If that's what you need to tell yourself. But what it actually makes me is a smart person, nobody's fool, and somebody with standards. Toodaloo. Toodle pip. That's you. Toodle pip. Ta-ta. Arrivederci. All right. Yeah, you're standing in your power. And you're finding, so you're going to get quick. This is exactly how you find love, just so you know, is by cutting out the riffraff. Yeah, riffraff, street rat. And some of these people, they play the victim. Because this is a nasty pattern of behavior that I've just described here. None of them are taking accountability. They're trying to outrun it. They're trying to blame you. And they're trying to make it seem like you're judgmental towards them for reasons other than their bad behavior. That you've somehow judged them as less than, maybe because they don't have enough money or because they're not attractive enough. That's not the issue. The issue is that they don't have two scruples to rub together. This group of people. And this very circle jerk energy as well, very low. It's just very low. And they need to get real. These people can't have a real conversation with you because they're not acquainted with reality. They can't look in the mirror and say, this person was very clear about their boundaries, weren't they? Yeah, I think they were. And I've consistently been a bully to those boundaries. And it actually makes all the sense in the world that they don't want anywhere near me. I've reaped what I've sown is what I'm hearing. And I've colluded with who I've colluded with is what I'm getting. So the chickens have come home to coop. But it's legit scary. Yeah, it is scary to have somebody like continually pressing up against your boundaries. Of course, all it's going to do is make you like button down the hatches even more, you know? But you're also, if you don't feel that already, you're going to have friends around you and like actual people that you talk to that are going to have your back. Yeah. You know it by when you set boundaries, how they act. So true. Unhealthy people they always act up around a boundary. They always do. The worst kind of people always act weird around a boundary. They'll either actively push it or they act like that's not what they're doing. They always act weird around a boundary. That is a very good alert system. And some of these people also, like, they're playing the victim of like, well, I don't know, like, it was just so-and-so and so-and-so that decided to do that. And it's like, why do you hang out with so-and-so and so-and-so if this is like who they're doing? If this is what they do with themselves? Why are you so comfortable being associated with people like that? Why? You are responsible for yourself. There's a lack of accountability with this group and an inability to just look at the reality of who they've been and who they've aligned with, and to just take that sort of truth and cut themselves free. And I feel like you had to do this. So it's like, kind of pick up your cross and follow me sort of a thing. Like, I had to do it and you have to do it too if you're going to get free from that. Otherwise, you reap what you sow. Arrivederci. All right. So this reminds me of that little cartoon skit with the sun and the cloud trying to get the jacket off the kid. The cloud was all aggressive and trying to blow it off. The kid just lightened it around them. Oh, just tightened it around them. Oh, interesting. Why we couldn't hang? What is the reason? In my Cardi B voice, I'm crying. Yeah. That's me, bubblegum, but tapped in. The lightness comes from getting the cosmic joke. Yes. Nice. All right. That's what I have. I have so many leftovers. We had shrimp yesterday. I got 2 different kinds of shrimp bake. Well, I didn't get them. Alex got them. But I've got 2 different kinds of shrimp bake. And that's what we're having after this. Okay, so really quickly, we have sales. The Everyday Magic final clearance, 40% off. Did you hear that? It's 40% off. Black Friday all weekend. Negative 10% off orders. Oh, okay. Okay. Sorry. 10%. We're going to charge you an extra 10%. I'm joking. 10%. Okay. Let me restart this. Sales. Okay. Everyday Magic sale. Final clearance, 40% off. Black Friday all weekend, 10% off orders over $70. New scented candles launching this week, and they're good too. And we hosted Thanksgiving yesterday, and everybody was complimenting us on the candles. I can't wait to tell you about my favorite ones that I have, but we have new like December, Christmassy, wintry candles that are coming with the scenteds. But the Black Friday final clearance sale, don't miss it, 40% off. So, okay. Thank you for the great reading. Thank you guys so much for all the love in this reading. Like, the energy was just so positive. I love getting to know you guys through this way. And I noticed there was an abundance of super chats today, and it just started off that way and it didn't stop. And I know that that's you guys just trying to make sure that you know that, or that I know that I'm loved and that you're grateful for me. And I know that. And I just want to say thank you guys so much for being my people. And we do not have a Patreon reading tomorrow, but maybe we can scrounge one up from the vault. I was kind of thinking we could do that. We can do that. So there will be like a release tomorrow, but it'll be one from way back in the day. And maybe I'll share some more of the SNL skits. Although I got roasted yesterday because I like to show SNL skits to people. And we were going to put Elf on the background. I was like, well, just let me do some SNL skits. And everybody was like, no, because then it's like 12 skits later. So I don't know if people like seeing the SNL skits, but maybe I'll post 1 or 2 over there. That's a respectable amount. And you don't have to watch it. Lynette, thank you so much for the super chat. Okay. I'm feeling Nordic scent for these new candles. You know I love a good Nordic Christmas. I just do. Yeah. So resonated on so many levels. Thank you. Thank you guys. This was a very impressive. I feel like a lot of people are intimidated by you. And, always sometimes people can confuse that energy and then they want to compete with you or they want to treat you badly. And so I feel like just know that you're great and you're on your path. So, all right. I'm going to go eat some leftovers. I hope that you guys have a lovely, wonderful rest of your day. And we'll scrounge up a reading from the vault. I got some personal readings going out. Look for those if you've booked with me. And I think that's all. Okay. Bye, guys. Arrivederci.